Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bleacher Takes. Thanks for tuning in with your boys. We're back. We took a week off. Had some vacation stuff going on, and we're back. Though we're back. Sunday night podcast. We got a lot to talk about, so we want to get into this real quick. But boys, first, how we doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just been chilling this weekend, watching some sports, hanging out with the fam. Nate, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling fantastic, boys. Happy to be talking some sports with y'all. Lots of good things happening. Blues did lose, though, yesterday. Glad I did not go to the game because I talked to you guys about potentially going, but didn't work out. But I'm glad I didn't because I don't want to watch them lose and Benny get hurt. That would have been sad. But other than that, I am doing fantastic. Tim, how the heck is Florida, my man?
It's popping. It is popping. You can't really tell with my great camera I got here, but my nose is pretty burnt. And I am feeling the effects of the Florida heat. But I'm ready to conquer Disney World tomorrow. And
give Snoopy a little
about
high
to
five.
have a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Snoopy.
Isn't his name Snoopy? Who am
What
I
are you
thinking
talking
of?
about, bro?
Or no, I'm thinking of probably Mickey Mouse. Sorry.
Mickey? Oh, no, cut the podcast. We're done. We're never going to get sponsored by Disney, bro.
There is somebody named Snoopy, though, isn't there?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
from Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Charlie Brown. Oh,
Wait.
sorry. Snoopy's the dog. The dog.
Josh, are you confused now?
Dude, I am. I think I'm thinking about somebody else. I don't know. Let's just move on.
Man, we're a cartoon pod apparently, or apparently not, because we don't know our cartoons. We're gonna start live streaming us watching cartoons so that these boys can figure out what they're talking about. But speaking of Goofy, did you guys see the PGA Championship?
Goofy. That's what I was thinking of. Not Snoopy. Goofy.
Oh, Goofy. Yeah, Goofy's like Mickey's bud.
He says, speaking of Goofy, yeah. So you knew what I was talking about. You just had to make me look bad now.
No, I was talking about Goofy, but
I had no idea what you were talking
I meant Goofy, not Snoopy or Mickey or whatever I was talking about. Anyway, did
all the names.
What? Say that again.
The PGA Championship.
Hey,
had some goofy stuff go down, huh?
We sure did have some goofy stuff go down. You want me to tell you about the whole I forgot dude's name.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second. I want to tell the listeners, if you guys didn't check out the last few holes of this PGA Championship, it was insane. All right. So
it was insane.
The PGA Championship was won today by somebody who going into it looked like he had a zero shot to win it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Thomas won, and Pereira, Mito Pereira, he had the epic downfall. He's leading by a stroke going into hole 18.
It's only his second major, too, that he's ever played in.
All he's got to do is par, and he wins, which obviously is way easier said than done. But even if you bogey, but
tough course, though. If you look at the final score, you see it's a tough course.
It is tough. Yeah, a lot of people were having their ups and downs for sure. Tiger Woods had a pretty rough day on Saturday. So I mean, and he's had some other injuries and stuff. And I don't expect him to. But I mean, he's a pro.
Way he's golfing. Well, I mean, true, but the way he's golfing, I mean, even a lot of the golfers out there said that his play was wasn't as good as usual just because of he was struggling so much physically.
Sure. But yeah, Mito Pereira though had a one-stroke lead and double bogeyed on 18. Lost the lead, and Will Zalatoris, who was actually, I believe, leading after day one.
He hit the drive straight into the water, didn't he?
Mito did? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he totally in Nate's words, he jagged.
He did jag.
And he threw. He ended up being tied for third. Will Zalatoris and Justin Thomas were tied for second, but with the epic downfall, they had to go to a 3-hole playoff. And, in that 3-hole playoff, they matched each other for the first hole. The second hole, Justin Thomas won by a stroke. And then hole 3, they basically tied each other. So Justin Thomas then won the PGA Championship. And if you're not into golf, go watch the last few holes of that. It's pretty exciting, actually. Just the anticipation and just
especially this event. These big events are fun to watch for
it's
sure.
crazy. Yeah, you got to start with watching the big majors, the 4 majors, and you can really get into it. That's what I've done. I don't watch golf a lot, but the 4 majors I always tune into. But yeah, Nate sent us a little interesting statistic. You guys all know by now that I am quite the statistical nerd. Love stats, and I always bring them to you. And Nate had quite the stats for me.
Well, I got 2 stats for you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got 2 stats for you because Justin Thomas, who won the 2022 PGA Championship, dude was 7 shots down to start the day today. So his odds of winning were extremely low, being 7 shots down after 54 holes, which is 3 rounds. And being 7 shots down, that ties for 3rd for the biggest comeback major win in history. Last time it was done, I think it was, or 99 was the top one, 10 shots down. Paul Lowry won that. But Justin Thomas is also, this is his 2nd win since turning 30, and only 4 other players, I think, has done that. So we all know Justin Thomas is a great golfer, but I thought that was really interesting to see him battle back. I mean, golf is a thing that if you're doing bad, it can get in your head. Obviously, we like to go around there. I know Tim, he's golfed a couple times. Josh has been with me a few times. I mean, you have a bad day, it gets in your head, and it's hard to like, as the kids would say, if you're in the blender, it's hard to get out of that blender when you're just not striking the ball well. Yeah. And then you just start driving all over the course. And my buddy sent me this funny thing on Instagram too. It was a play that happened in baseball's infielders, and the guy threw to first base and it sailed over, and then the right fielder got the air and tried to throw it to third to get somebody out, and it flew over the third baseman's head. And we've all seen that probably in slow pitch softball, just the ball, or little league, and then he commented and said, "This is what my ball looks like trying to hit it on the green. It just keeps going back and forth." I thought that was hilarious. You want me to say the John Daly? That's what I was talking about.
Let's go. John Daly almost had a triple-double this weekend. Not exactly what you're thinking.
So, and I do watch a little bit of golf every now and then, and most guys are eating like energy bars. You got guys such as like Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, who big like weightlifter guys, they're throwing down some peanut butter bars, drinking lots of water. But this is a stat that Will Brinson, he tweeted out. He's a big golf guy, and he said this is the final tally of everything that John Daly put into his body after the first round of the PGA Championship: 21 cigarettes, 12 Diet Cokes, and six packs of peanut M&Ms.
Jeez.
Tell me that's not crazy, man.
That 20 guy he is defying all stereotypes about what an athlete looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched some podcast of that he's been on, and just some of the stories that he's told. The podcast people posting the podcast is just insane. That guy is not your typical golfer, I'll tell you that. And I mean, he's a very good golfer at that. So it just goes to show that when you're good at something, at the end of the day, you don't have to follow, them natural unwritten rules. You can pretty much do whatever
this
you
man's
want.
out here looking like Santa Claus and throwing down stuff he found at the 7-Eleven and still out golfing some of the youngest and most fit people out there.
Yeah.
So I always love watching him
play golf, though. I mean, I guess it shows you no matter what your body type is,
That's why when people get a little bit older, or when their bodies start to wear down, they usually tend to head to the golf scene. And he just got a head start. So, but
that's crazy though, man, who would have thought? No
championship was crazy. No water. Yeah, well, he's got to think. His body's got enough water in there to supply him. He'll drink those Diet Cokes and drop those cigarettes and those peanut M&Ms. But PGA Championship was fun. Go check it out. Go look at the highlights. Get into it. There's lot of fun stuff happening in the world of golf during these big majors. So, but we got another big fun thing to talk about here. The NBA Conference Finals is going on. Last time we talked to you guys, I think these had not started yet. They were about to start up. And we've got a lot to talk about. Seems like the Celtics and Heat is probably going to maybe go the distance. It looks like quite the series here. The Heat do lead 2-1 in this series. Boys, what are your takeaways from this?
Nate, you go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say that after game one, we all know what Jimmy Butler did in game one. How many points did he drop? He dropped like 41 points, and he dropped 27 of them in the second half. And they just went crazy. And somebody said, "Oh yeah, the Celtics, they haven't played anybody like this Heat. They don't know." But I'm telling you this, I knew Jimmy Butler, he ain't gonna do this every game, and he hasn't. I mean, that was crazy. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know that the Heat are deep, but I think the Celtics are Heat. And I look at the best player on the Heat. I look at the best player on the Celtics. I'll take Jason Tatum over Jimmy Butler any day. I don't know what your guys' take on that, but my take is I still got the Celtics in this series, and I think injuries are going to be a big thing too. Though Marcus Smart and Tatum both had to leave the game last night due to injury, so I mean, we're curious to see what's going to happen there.
I also want to stop you right there. What do you guys think that they're doing in the Celtics training room to get these guys back out on the court so fast and looking like nothing ever happened? They got holy water back there. They got like magic potion. What's going on? They got Michael's secret sauce. I mean,
I just think it's something that, has played a factor into the Celtics' whole postseason. Just the passion and the chip on the shoulder just to prove people wrong. If Jason Tatum or Marcus Smart go out, that's a huge loss for the Celtics. They both know how important they are to the team. And so, I mean, it's the playoffs. You got time to rest all off season. So
sure. Yeah, exactly. I do agree with you, Nate. I will take Jason Tatum purely because of his upside and what he can bring. Jimmy Butler is much more consistent, though, in my opinion. A guy who's going to bring it and is usually, even if he's not shooting a lot, he's still bringing it on the defensive side, bringing that defensive pressure, a kind of guy that, even if he's not your leading scorer, is still probably going to be the best player on your team at all times. There's times when Jason Tatum looks like the best player on the court, and then sometimes it looks like he's not even the best player on his team because Jaylen Brown is also a guy who can go off like that.
And he had a bad night. He had a bad night last night for sure.
Right, for sure. And I'm taking Tatum for the upside, but consistency-wise, I mean, Jimmy Butler's it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a great series.
Yeah, my thing with this series is I've said this over and over again, dude. The Miami Heat are so deep. I mean, you look at the game last night, Jimmy Butler gets hurt and stuff like that. And then you have Bam Adebayo, who drops 31, 10, and 6.
He stepped in.
Like, that is just insane.
I actually did catch the last part of this game, and full transparency here. I have not watched a lot of sports. I'm on vacation, but I did watch the last part of this game, and I said, "Oh Lord, the Celtics are coming back. The Heat don't have Jimmy Butler or Tyler Hero. Who is going to close this game for them?" And I was like, they don't have a guy out there that's going to close. And Bam Adebayo said, "Hey, watch this," and just kept getting buckets and couldn't be stopped.
Yeah. And in games 1 and 2, he only averaged 8, 6, and 1. So, that just shows you right there how deep these Heat are. And with the way Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart got injured, they came back, but I mean, are those injuries going to linger on in games 4, 5, and 6? I mean, who knows? So I don't know. I just feel like depth is going to play a huge role in this series, and I'm not going to change my pick. I still got the Celtics moving on, but
I do as well. And I actually have a crazy stat that I heard that makes me think the Celtics are the better team and are going to win, but it does bring a big insight into this series. There's been 12 quarters in this series, right? So there's been 4 quarters, 3 games, and there's been 12 quarters. Do you guys know how many of those quarters the Miami Heat have won? I
think I actually saw this stat. I'm not going to.
2.
2.
The Celtics have won 10 of 12 quarters and are down 2-1 in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows you that when the Heat go on that run, they don't let up and they're going to blow you out in that quarter. They might lose every other quarter, but it doesn't matter because in that third quarter or that second quarter or that first quarter, whenever they want to do it, which they've shown they can do it in any quarter.
Yeah.
They started out super hot against Boston, I believe, in the first quarter of, was it game 1, and held on and won the game, even though they got outscored or, didn't win any of the other quarters in the other games.
Kyle Lowry coming back, I think, does help them too.
For sure. Yeah, and that's the thing is they have guys that go out that are injured, and then they have all these guys who can come in and play too. I mean, just like we talked about a couple weeks ago, we all forgot Victor Oladipo was a Miami Heat, and now here he is in a playoff game.
Yeah,
dropping buckets. So
it's crazy to look at all the people that are questionable. Like, they said that Smart and Marcus Smart, or Tatum and Marcus Smart, are both listed as questionable for game 4. Oh, it's saying that Robert Williams is questionable as well. And then it says the Heat is listed Butler, Lowry, Hero, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, PJ Tucker, all is questionable for game 4.
I see Max Strus as day-to-day as well.
Yeah, and then they said that Jimmy Butler, I guess, is supposed to be playing. So, but that's just crazy.
He's playing.
The training rooms are going to be busy, but I mean, if they don't have Jason Tatum, I know they only scored 10 points, and if they don't have Jason Tatum, this series I think is over. But I don't.
The thing is, even though Jason Tatum only had 10 points, he still demands the respect of the defense, and they still want to deny him the ball. Just because he's out there not dropping 25 and shooting efficiently. Yeah. I mean, he still opens up the floor for everybody else. Jaylen Brown doesn't have that game if Jason Tatum's out. Because they play Jaylen Brown the same way they would play Jason Tatum if Tatum wasn't there. So you kind of got to take the good with the bad.
And I got more faith. I don't know. You guys got to answer this question, or you guys answer this question too. But I got more faith in Jason Tatum scoring 20+ points than Jimmy Butler scoring 40. Like, I have more faith in Jason Tatum not having a bad game than Jimmy Butler just scoring like 40 points like that. Like, I don't think that's ever gonna. I don't know. Maybe Jimmy
Butler has 5 40-point games in the playoffs. The dude shows up when he needs to show up, and I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm going to take anybody scoring 20 points.
Well, Jimmy Butler is the second leading scorer in the playoffs that's still in it right now. Giannis was first. Luka is still in it second. Jokic was third. Butler's fourth. So
I don't know.
28 a game. But I know what you're saying. He's pretty consistent, though. That's what I was saying. He's going to give you 25 to 30 a night, and then he's going to have those explosions every once in a while. But Tatum's like, he's going to drop to 50 or 10. So you kind of got to get the good with the bad, like I said, and hope that with the bad, you get a lot of good from your other role players, which Boston's they're pretty good with their role players. They're just not as deep as Miami is, but I don't think anybody's as deep as Miami is. I think Miami has the deepest roster left in the playoffs.
And me and Jay, we were watching the game last night. We were on a party kind of thing. We were just watching the game, chilling, and we saw the turnover story. Like, the Celtics shouldn't even been in that game. After the first quarter, the Heat were killing it, and then the Celtics are almost breaking records for how many turnovers. 24 turnovers in game 3 to the Heat's 9.
And it's still basically ended up being a
6-point game,
2-possession game. Like, it's insane. And
by the end of the game, Heat though.
I just saw.
Though.
Yeah, me too. And I just saw at the end of the game, it's like Tatum, even when he wasn't shooting well, they were getting so much pressure on him. He kept turning over the ball. And that's just something that he's got to learn how to play a little bit cooler under pressure and just be able to fight through those double teams and get the ball to the right guy. Because he's trying to do these across court passes while double team. That's not going to work. The Celtics also have to help him get the ball and get the ball out of his hands when he gets doubled like that and gets pressured like that. But yeah, I think we all got Celtics in this one, but it's been a crazy series to watch. The Mavericks and Warriors, however, has not been very appeasing to the eyes. The game 2 was pretty decent, but game 1 was pretty horrible. Game 1, Golden State kind of put Mavericks kind of to bed there. Let me see here.
None of these games have really even been that close.
No, and Luka had a bad game 1. and the Warriors didn't even really have to do a whole lot to score and to stop. I mean, their leading scorer was Curry with 21. All their starters were in double digits, but they just kind of had to score and overcome what little Luka could bring that night. Luka had a bad shooting night, shot 33%, and it's not a winning formula for Dallas at all. For Dallas, they have to have a big performance from Doncic and 2 big performances from role players.
Well, and see, I don't.
Starters.
And if you, I mean, with you saying that, that's not even enough. I don't, because I mean, in game 2,
but that's to give them a chance. Yeah, to give them a chance. Doncic, right, and see, they had a chance in that game. Brunson had 31, Bullock had 21, Doncic has 42, and they still lose by 9. And I mean, granted, Oracle's a hard place to play in, and the Dallas Mavericks, I mean, they blitzed them in the first half of game 2. They had 72 points to the Warriors 58. Quick math there. Yeah, 58-72. And then Dallas just fell apart in the third quarter, got outscored by 12. They only had 13 points in the quarter. And then you're not going to outscore the Warriors in the fourth quarter in Oracle. Or what's it called? Is it Oracle still? It's Oracle Arena? Did they change their name? I don't remember.
They changed the name, but I don't remember what it is.
Something.
Chase Center.
Probably
Chase
something. What is it?
Chase. It's Chase Center.
Chase. I still call it Oracle. Whatever.
But yeah, and even Curry being garbage all the way. I mean, fourth quarter Curry he's going to come out and make shots at the times when you need to stop him. And me watching the game too, I feel like the Dallas was in it. They had a chance, but they just couldn't get any stops, man.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, the Warriors are a team that if you don't have them put away by the third quarter, good luck, because they're coming for you in that fourth quarter, and they're going to outscore you. But are you going to be able to hold them off by, and still win the game? And they couldn't. And for those that are watching right now, I know there's a couple people that watch this podcast that say that, oh yeah, Steph Curry, he's not arrogant. He's a very down to earth, very he's a great player. You see what that man did to the Mavericks? That man shot it, said night night, and then did this, put them to bed on live TV. Steph Curry, man, that guy, he's nasty. And like I said, you can't give them a chance. You can't give them an opportunity.
Luka got something to say about it, though, but he can't be scoring no 20 points average per game for the first 2 games. That's for sure. We need to see this.
Yeah, he had 42 in game 2, but I mean, they've got it. It's all depends on what happens down the stretch. The Mavericks have to win those third quarters, man, or those fourth quarters, and it's just not looking so good. And right now they're playing, and it looks like the Warriors are up by 9 in the first quarter.
Dallas has got to play their game. Like, I feel like they're too much into living and dying by the 3 and just trying to beat the Warriors at their own game. You're not going to do that. You got to attack the paint. You got to be. You can't go against the Warriors. Like, that's what they want to do. You just want to shoot threes all day. Okay, we'll do that, and we'll beat you because we got, the two splash bros and the other third splash bro that just got in here. And I mean, you can't do that. You got to attack the paint. I think that's huge for today's game. And as I watch today's game and tonight's game, that's something I want to watch is the points in the paint, because the Warriors absolutely just smacked them in the points in the paint, outscored the Mavericks 62-30. Like, and that's something that the Mavs or the Warriors don't usually do, score 62 points in the paint. That's kind of crazy for them. But when you got guys such as Kevin Looney that's been going crazy too, and Kevon. Rebounding, I feel like Kevon, thanks. Dude can't. I mean, the Mavs have to rebound, and I mean, that's something to watch for as well.
I watched like the post game press conference or whatever, and Looney said that was like the first time he scored that many points since like some like amateur pro summer league thing. So I mean, like that's crazy to even think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, Nate. I don't think you're which I was wrong too. I picked the Suns to make it out of the West, but it looks like these Warriors are.
I did pick the Warriors to beat the Mavs. I want the Mavs to at least make it an interesting fight, and I'm hoping that they can at least steal more than a game. I'm thinking it's going to be like Warriors in 5, maybe Warriors in 4. I don't know, but I'm hoping that the Mavs can at least steal a game. The Dallas crowd is different. They can get hyped too. So, I mean, we'll see. And we got to remember the Mavs won 4 out of the last 5 games that it was. They won 4 of the last 5 games against the Suns because they won 4-3 and they were down 0-2.
I'm predicting Golden State wins tonight. Dallas wins game 4, and then they finish it off game 5.
Aren't they in Wait, so you're saying
they're in Dallas the next 2 games?
The next 2?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Dallas is going to win. They're not going to get swept on their home court.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to go to Golden State and probably get trounced. But
the Mavs got a woke up to $100,000 fine too. I don't know if you saw that.
That's nothing to old Mark Cuban. But
did you see what it was for with the whole the bench? The NBA smacked him with the $100,000 fine because too many bench players were near the court standing up for the majority of the game. They're not sitting down on the bench, and it doubles every time. So this happened in game 2 with the Suns versus the Mavs. And they got a $25,000. It happened in game 6 when the Mavs blew them out, and they gave them a $50,000 fine, and now it's doubled again. So the Mavs did it against the Warriors, and I guess there's a certain percentage of they were standing and not sitting on the bench, so they got faced with a $100,000 fine. I just thought that was interesting when I saw that.
Tell them boys to take a seat, man. Let me tell you, it costs them.
Tell them to sit on the bench.
$175K right now. It's insane. But it's been crazy. The NHL, though, we're going to move on. NHL second round here. We're going to start with Josh. I'm just playing. Josh looking a little scared over there. But no, the NHL second round, we had Tampa Bay playing the Panthers. This game or this series looks like it's already over, even though they still have technically a game 4 to play. Tampa Bay is up 3-0 in this series. They're showing why they're back-to-back champs and why they're trying to make it a three-peat. Not a whole lot to say here. I mean, the Panthers had the best record in hockey and came into this postseason riding high and have now matched up with the best postseason team that there is in the NHL and are being shown, hey, we don't care what you did in the regular season. I don't care how many games you guys won. We're going to blow by you. We're going to outscore you. You ain't scoring on us. Vasilevsky is locking them up, and the series is over.
You guys got to go. If you guys just missed that, look at Luka Doncic. It's just a first quarter buzzer beater, but nasty.
Did he?
I just turned it on. He did
a little Curry shimmy at the end. Dude,
oh, man. Hey, he don't back down. We
exactly.
Saw the same thing from in Devin Booker. And everybody said these two really don't like each other. Yeah,
see, I think don't care. Doncic don't like anybody.
Yeah, but that Booker and Luka, I really don't think they like each other.
But that's good though. I don't like it when people are like, "Oh, they're the Warriors. They demand this respect." And I feel like I'm Josh talking about a week ago when the Grizzlies were trying to stand up for themselves, and we had this whole argument of they shouldn't be doing that. The Grizzlies are this young team. Well, so are the Mavericks. They're a bunch of nobodies either. But they're like, I don't give a heck who the Warriors are. I'm gonna go right at them. So I mean, I don't like it that you're taking up for Luka right now, Josh. No, you didn't take up for my boys from Memphis.
It's that's what I don't like, bro. Ja did it.
Oh, okay, 2 different things.
Ja's talking trash straight into Curry's face, bro. You know, it's just I don't know. It's different. And Ja didn't even.
Luka's doing his celebration after hitting a 3, though.
But it's bigger, bro.
I love Luka. Yeah, he really stands up for himself. Yeah, I like Luka. Oh, but Ja Morant and Dylan Brooks and those guys from they're just dirty players. Oh yeah, they don't respect Curry. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Don't respect the game of basketball.
Okay. I mean, I don't want nobody to back down. I don't care if I'm down 3-0 to the Warriors. I'm going right at them. You know what I mean? And if I make a play,
I really just, honestly, if we're going to talk about this, I really just don't really like the whole Grizzlies, just the way they handle themselves over there, to be honest.
Oh, my.
I mean, look, bro, they're so cocky and they haven't done literally anything in the league with Dylan Brooks already saying they're a dynasty what? Losing in the playoffs? You haven't done nothing, bud.
It's their first. Well, I mean,
you haven't done nothing.
They're all young.
No, it doesn't. Exactly my point.
They're an upcoming dynasty. I think.
No, you're on.
What they said is right.
No, absolutely not.
You don't think we're ever going to see anything from the Grizzlies ever again? You think that it's just gone?
Nate, tell me that with 100% like confidence that they are better than 5 teams out of the West. Like they're a top 5 team in the West.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With everybody healthy, bro, they're a top 5 team in the West.
Oh yeah, everybody healthy. I mean, I for sure.
So. I do not think so.
Like I can't even name 5 teams that are better than them.
Here, let me look and I'll tell you 5.
Go ahead, pull it up. I mean, we got all day. It's Sunday night. I got nothing to do. Well, I got all day. I'll give you the Suns. I'll give you the Warriors. I got the Grizzlies are better than the Mavericks. I'll give you, I guess, the Jazz.
Did you say Suns already? Warriors, Suns?
No, I won't give you the Jazz because the Jazz are losing Gobert or Mitchell. So I'm not giving you the Jazz. I guess I'll give you the Nuggets if they have Murray. So I'll give you. So there's 3. Because they're better than the Clippers. I don't know what the Lakers are going to look like. I'm talking with everybody.
I already got exactly, and I got you your 5. You got the Suns, Golden State, Denver, Clippers, Lakers. Lakers are.
No! I can't go with Lakers.
Lakers are, bro. If they have LeBron James and AD, and they get rid of Westbrook and get assets on the bench and shooters around LeBron.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can play roster construction.
I'm talking
GM all day.
I'm talking about everybody healthy. That's what you said. Everybody healthy. I'm not saying I know you like playing
day street clothes Davis. You can't.
I know you like playing. I know you like playing GM over there on 2K, but I'm gonna let you know. I'm talking about everybody healthy right now. I'm telling you, the Grizzlies are a top 5 team, and they're gonna be around for a while, man.
I'm not
anyway,
on that.
Let's go Blues. So yeah, the
the
Lightning are looking great.
Mavericks over them easily.
I'm not putting the Mavericks over them. If Luka, I mean, yeah, if we're playing GM again and I give Luka another 2, then maybe. But I mean,
who's still
Jaren Jackson Jr. is a star. Ja Morant is a superstar.
Who's still playing right now?
Luka is a superstar.
Answer my question. Out of the 2 teams, who's still playing right now?
Well, yeah, because the Warriors beat the Grizz. But if the Grizz are playing the Dallas Mavericks, the Grizz are beating the Dallas. It's because the Suns they're just not that good.
I mean, to Nate's point, the team that the Grizzlies did lose to.
The Grizzlies are playing a dynasty team.
Playing the Mavericks and are showing them who's boss.
He's just mad because his Timberwolves got beat and got smacked around. So he's
Timberwolves. Yeah.
Pat Bev is on Get Up and he's on First Take now and talking all this junk that he shouldn't be talking.
Who played in the finals last year? Who were the 2 teams? Suns and okay. Who did the Mavs play?
But the only reason both of those teams were even in there is because of injuries.
They still made it to the finals. You can't if you're going to take away because of injuries. Like,
are the Suns going to make the playoffs if Clay never got injured and you got Curry?
When did they? I mean, they still made it, Nate. I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
and I get that, and I know injuries happen all the time.
You have to take into consideration that your team is not going to stay 100% healthy throughout the full year. That's why depth plays such a huge factor. Like, I mean, you look at. Let's take the Lakers, for instance, all right? They have, the big 3 with the Lakers only played 21 games together, okay? They had no depth around them whatsoever. You had Malik Monk and freaking number 21, whatever, Gabriel, whatever. Like, who in the heck is that?
That's what happens when you got to pay 3 max contracts.
And exactly,
everybody.
That's why it did not work.
The way the rosters are, everybody healthy. The Grizzlies are a top 5 team.
No. I don't see it. I mean, next year.
I love that you guys love to disagree.
Next year around this time, if you're right, I'll eat my words.
What doesn't make him a top 5 team? Like, I'm not even talking about Dylan Brooks or any of those other guys, but I'm saying Jaren Jackson Jr. is a star. Okay, we agree with that?
I'm not saying that, yeah.
Ja Morant is a superstar. Luka's a superstar. But can you say there's another Mavs player right now that's a star? No.
I mean, Jalen Brunson.
So that eliminates Mavs off of it.
Jalen Brunson's
not a star. He's not a star.
I'm saying. Oh, so you're not saying the way he's been playing within the playoffs right now. He's a star in the playoffs right now.
Well, somebody's gonna score some points for them. I don't think he's a star yet.
I'm not saying yet, but I'm saying this year, right now, in the playoffs, you can. I mean, if we're looking at our our
I don't think we have enough data in order
on.
to consider him a star yet.
If we pull up our little schedule for the podcast or whatever, and we scroll down here to where is it at? NBA, the Magic Johnson Trophy. You have Luka, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. But we're not. Why is he even on this list if we're not going to consider him a star right now?
Well, who else can you put on the Mavericks to talk about that's even worth mentioning?
Exactly my point. He's a star right now.
He's not a star.
Then why is he on the list?
Because there's no one else to compare him to.
We're talking about
when
playoffs
we get
only.
to
We're
that,
not talking about all.
we're going to talk about him
teams.
for about half a second.
No, bro. He is showing up right now. And we've all, throughout this whole thing, we have been saying if Jalen Brunson keeps playing how he is playing, the Mavericks can do something. He is being a star right now. This is a star in the making. I understand
in the making.
Oh,
sure,
in the making. Well, yeah, okay, I'll agree
I
with
just
that.
said with the way he's playing right now, he's a star. Like
no,
right
he's
now,
in the making.
If he continues this next year, then yes, he's a for sure star.
I'm hearing a lot of ifs, though. I'm hearing a lot of ifs. I'm not basing my facts on ifs. I'm giving you straight things. Like I could say, oh yeah, Reggie Bullock, he's a star. Bertans, he's a star. Oh, this guy, he's a star.
I mean, 14 points in game one. When he goes off, when he dropped 30 in game two,
that's the star.
How many did Jason Tatum drop yesterday? 9? Oh,
10.
well,
he dropped 10 points.
He's got a track record though, buddy.
Okay,
Jalen Brunson 2 months ago was Luka's backup.
In the making.
That is why
Jalen Brunson's
not in the playoffs. Guys, in the playoffs. I'm not talking about this whole year. In the playoffs right now, he is a star for the Dallas Mavericks.
But listen, Josh, what did we start arguing about? We're not talking about in the playoffs right now. We started arguing about next year. Next year with everybody healthy, all teams are the Memphis Grizzlies a top 5 team. That's what we're talking about.
And
we're not talking about anything in the playoffs. We're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies next year. Everybody together, are they a top 5 team?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
That's your opinion. And it sucks, but that's your opinion. And the Grizzlies are going to be a top 5 team.
Deep, dude. I just don't see it. I do not see it. I think for Desmond Bane, I think he had a fantastic year.
Listen,
but I don't think he's doing it again.
Here's my 2 cents on it.
Well, that's a guy
we're going to see.
We don't know yet.
We're going to see what they're made out of next year. But the thing is, the fact that we're spending 20 minutes talking about a team that's been eliminated. I mean,
exactly.
Right now, here's what I like to say. Right now, they're just as good as the Knicks because they're sitting at home, right there with my Knicks. They're watching on a couch, watching this Western Conference Finals right now. So you know what? We'll see. We'll see if are they a top 5 team potentially, but right now it don't really matter because they're not left. They're not left in this. Playoffs is all that matters, baby. So. But yeah, let's get back to hockey here. Josh doesn't like hockey talk, so he tries to interrupt us when we're trying to talk about it and throws some stuff that he knows Nate will argue with him about. And here we are 20 minutes later in this rabbit hole. So, Nate, here's something that I know that you can go and run with, though. The Blues and the Avalanche. Tell me what's going on in this series, bro.
It's a great series, honestly. Avalanche are a top team, and we knew that.
They're up 2-1, yep.
We knew that the Blues would have to be on everything's got to be great for them to have a shot at beating the Avalanche. Now, like I said, I didn't get to go to the game. Well, I'll just break them real quick, break them down. Game 1, we got outplayed, outshot everything. We just weren't physical. I mean, if we want to play like speed and try to our power line versus their power line and, be flashy where it's their flashy, I mean, that's just not us. Like, that's not our game. We had to go back to being physical. The shots, me and Josh we were watching it and we were even talking about that. The shots were like 60 to like 20. It felt like 50, it was
52 to 28.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win any games if you don't throw the puck at the net. You know what I mean? Like you throw the puck at the net, good things are going to happen. You can get a tip in. It can bounce off a player's skate. I mean, you got to get pucks at the net, and the Blues though are bottom 5 in shot attempts per game, but they're also top 3 in like almost every scoring category. So when they do shoot, they shoot with purpose and they can score.
They're not just throwing the puck at the net, just 'cause.
Yeah, but they do. They're very they look for plays. They know what they want to do. So first game was a disaster. Second game, we looked a lot better. Our goaltending, which I even said, I think if we're going to have a great series, Benny's going to have to play out of his mind. Like, if we're going to have a good series, Bennington is going to have to show up and play. And our power play, I think the last 8 games that we've had in the playoffs, we've had at least one power play goal. So, I mean, our teams are making them pay basically, or if they make a penalty, whatever it is, like the Blues are making them pay. And then really the last game, unfortunately, we did lose 5-2. It was a close game. It was 3-2, and then they scored a couple.
Empty netters, yeah.
Well, actually, I think it was 3-2. We were rushing them, and we actually pulled our goalie. He was at the blue line, and we had a bad turnover. He tried to skate backwards and make a play, and they just had a good pass across the ice. And so basically, it was 2 empty netters. It was a 1-point game leading to it.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
yeah. But Huso, I think we're going to rely on him. I don't know what's going on with Bennington. I believe he hurt his leg, so it looks like Bennington is going to be out of the remainder of the best of 7 series because of that lower body collision. He had I think it was a collision with his own teammate, and it was Nazem Kadri of the Avalanche. I don't think it was anything that was bad. But it was a collision in 6 minutes.
He tried to stay in too, and then they told him to come out of there, and then it looked like he couldn't put any pressure on his leg when he skated off. So
our hope now relies on Ville Husso. Our game, I think we had more shots. Our game did look good last game. We were a little bit flustered. But what's really interesting to see is, like, when we talk about playoff hockey, like everybody's just ready to battle each other. Every check is getting, they're finishing every check. Everything's physical. But they said, watching this Blues and Avalanche, there's no extracurricular drama going on after the plays. Everybody's minding their P's. Everybody's minding their Q's, because they know on either side, you don't want them to go on a power play. You don't want to do the wrong thing. So it's been kind of interesting. They're like, there's no really roughhousing going on. Yeah. But honestly, our favorite goes into Ville Husso, who's been our number 1 goalie all year.
You just got to see regular season Husso.
So we'll see.
He played very well during the year.
We'll see what he can do. But yeah, I'm trying to move through that pretty quick. But I mean, I'm excited. I hope the Blues can show up and show out. So
yeah. The next series, Rangers and Hurricanes. Rangers won game 3 today. We are still down in the series 2-1. Carolina has looked like the much better team. Something that I've said all year, and you guys have heard me say it plenty of times on here, the Rangers have to rely on their goalkeeping with Igor Shesterkin. And we have to play good defense in order to win. We have to get some timely goals. Well, unfortunately, our offense has absolutely sputtered, and it looks like we're trying to race with the big boys, and we're out here driving a little Dodge Dart, Josh. And it looks like we just can't compete. Our offense looks horrible. Games 1, game 2, we got outshot by plenty. I don't have the stats in front of me, and I don't really want you guys to say them. But we looked pretty bad. Game 1 and game 2, we got shut out. In, I believe, game 1. One of them we got shut out in. But we just have not looked good. Carolina's had our number most of the year. And we came into game 3 thinking, okay, this is must win. We've got to reestablish ourselves in this. Our Gerard Gallant, our head coach, has mixed up some of the lines a little bit for game 3, hoping to have a little spark. He moved Alexis Lafreniere up, which I told these boys in the group chat that I think Alexis Lafreniere looks like our best player this series. If you don't know who he is, he was the Rangers' first overall pick in 2020. He's 20 years old, and he is insanely good. And they put him on a line with Artemi Panarin today. And
they showed up.
Putting those two skilled guys, I think our 2 most skilled players, probably not our best players. Panarin's probably the best player on the team, but the 2 most skilled guys together. And they were pretty nasty.
Zib scored, I saw.
Zib did score. Zib, when Zib scores, good things happen. That guy creates, we don't have a captain. We have a couple like co-captains. But Zibanejad, I believe, is like our captain. He's the guy that everybody kind of looks to, and you can kind of tell when he scores, when he gets going, the whole team gets going. It's something that if he's bogged down, the team looks bogged down. So they kind of ride on his highs, and they go with his lows too. And he scored and he assisted on the second goal of today's game. And we came up with a big win. And I'm pretty excited. We won 3-1. Last one was an empty netter, which was actually a pretty nasty empty net score from all the way across the ice by Tyler Mott. But yeah, 3-1. And Carolina did not play very well today. They kind of played into our game.
They never do on the road.
Yep. They had to go to Game 7 on the road against the Bruins. Or had to go to Game 7 at home against the Bruins because on the road they went 0-3.
They're 0-4 right now, and 6-0
right.
at home.
Right, exactly. So
crazy.
We've got to take these, and we've got to win one in Carolina.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot more to say about that. Oilers and Flames, they are live right now, and the Oilers are up 4-0.
Yeah, I did not
see that. The
series
is tied 1-1. And let's see, Evander Kane, oh my Lord, has a hat trick in the second period.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And let's see, Connor McDavid has 3 assists in this game. Draisaitl has 4 assists in this game. Holy cow. That top line of Draisaitl, McDavid, and Evander Kane is absolutely disgusting.
This whole series is going not the way I predicted it, because I remember we were doing predictions and Josh was like, explain to me both sides what you think. We were kind of talking about what each team needed to do, and we watched the Stars and the Flames, and the Flames and Stars was a boring series. Remember, we kept saying that there was no scoring, there was just nothing going on. I think there's 2 games that was 1-0. I mean, they just couldn't score, and I was like, the Flames are going to score. Like, I just have a feeling, and the Oilers were having a hard time scoring as well. Like, they couldn't. It was just like they had to fight to stay in that series. They were about to lose to the I think it was the Capitals that they took that they won over. But that wasn't interesting. But now they go to this series, and I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but 9-6, we're throwing up football scores out there on the hockey rink. 9-6 was the first.
Looks like a Bills-Jets game.
Bills, but the 9-6, and then the second game was, I think it was 5-3. Yeah, so you have 15-8, so 23 goals. I think 24 was like the record in the first two games. And then now looking at this, there's 4 goals already by the Oilers. So, but Connor McDavid is doing everything he can to really. Yeah,
he is.
And like you said,
we're going to talk about him in just a little bit too. Woo. But yeah, I told you I thought the Oilers were going to win this series, and I still have them winning it. I think that McDavid is absolutely unstoppable, and Evander Kane always shows that he's going to have one game where he's just going to go absolutely nuts. And for him to be their wild card on a team that already has Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, watch out. So they're up 4-0. Looks like the Oilers, unless something crazy happens, looks like the Oilers are going to go up 2-1 in this series. And they have a chance to obviously really swing this series. They're at home for this game and the next one. So they have a really good chance. The Flames need to take game 4 if they don't pull this one out.
The Battle of Alberta.
It's pretty crazy.
And the Battle of Florida. I think that's cool, too. You got the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's pretty cool rivalries going on.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really look like much of a rivalry right there. It looks like hit a windshield. But NHL is hot in the streets right now. Josh is learning and picking up, and pretty soon he'll be talking hockey with us, right, Josh? Yeah. He's learning on the fly here. I do have an MLB update to give you guys here. Nobody tune into ESPN right now. Sunday Night Baseball is supposed to be going on, but the Yankees forgot to show up. So they are down 5-0 to the White Sox. Michael Kopech was disgusting tonight. Actually had a perfect game going into the 6th inning when world-renowned catcher Rob Brantley, guy who wasn't even on the roster this morning, broke that up with a double. But yeah, they're up 5-0. The Yankees played a doubleheader against them today, and they lost game 1, and they're about to lose game 2. It's going to be their first series loss, I believe, in their last 12 series. So
not bad, though. Yankees are a great team.
No, and they're in a little hitting funk right now, but that's to be
White Sox
expected
are
when they
a
were
great
averaging.
team, too. They just
Right,
got
and
underperforming.
they're starting to pick it up a little bit, and the Yankees, obviously, you're going to see some offensive sputters when they were averaging, 8 to 10 runs every week. Like there was 3 weeks in a row when they averaged between 8 and 10 runs in the week. It's just insane. But I will say Aaron Judge continues to be absolutely fantastic. He went 3 for 4 in the afternoon game and hit an absolute bomb to left field to tie it up in the 8th inning. And then Aroldis Chapman gave it up in the 9th, which he's been an issue lately. Judge is 0 for 3 tonight. But
is that something you're worried about, Tim? Or
Aroldis Chapman?
Yeah.
I think that we're heading to a spot to where he's going to not be the closer, which I think is not a bad thing, considering he would probably still be the closer on most other teams. But the Yankees are not most teams, and they have a bullpen that is absolutely disgusting. And I think we have 2 or 3 guys that probably deserve the role over him at this point. And the Yankees have kind of given it to Clay Holmes. On Friday night's game, they brought in Clay Holmes to come close the game for them. He shut it down. He actually got the last 4 outs. His last appearance before that, he pitched 2 shutout innings, 8th and the 9th, to get the save. And he's just disgusting. If you've never seen Clay Holmes pitch, or if you don't know who he is, the Yankees basically got him for their, I think, 5th ranked second base prospect. So their 75th ranked prospect. Traded him for Clay Holmes, brought him to the Yankees pitching lab, and reworked his sinker. And now it's like the most unhittable pitch in the game. And he's just nasty. And he's going to throw a sinker. He's going to throw it every single time. And the batter knows it, and they cannot hit it. If you want to see a nasty inning, go watch Friday night's 9th inning against the White Sox. They looked absolutely baffled. There was nothing they could do. Buster Olney, ESPN reporter, even reported it and said it looked like they had nothing that they could do against him. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about Aroldis Chapman because he is big. He is a guy that has been big for us in the postseason. I know people have seen the clips of him giving up home runs to, Jose Altuve and stuff like that. But you're going to give up the big home runs in a big spot because you're the one pitching in that spot.
Losing Chad Green, I saw Yankees are.
Chad Green, yes, does have to have Tommy John surgery. It's a big blow for us, but we do have Jonathan Loaiska, who did not have a very good inning in today's game, but has started to show some dominance. Luis Severino went crazy today. This is a Yankees pod, apparently. That's all I want to talk about. They are leading the AL East. They are 29-11, about to be 29-12, looks like. Still the best record in baseball. Still the fewest losses and most wins. They're doing their thing. They're about to lose this. They're about to lose this series, but like I said, you can't win them all. And the White Sox are a very good team. In the AL Central, the Twins are 25-16. They are playing a good brand of baseball right now. Starting to get a little bit more healthy. They've had some injury scares, but nothing to be too concerned about to this point. Astros are leading the AL West. The Angels have kind of fallen off a little bit. They're a couple games back now, which is pretty disappointing to me. We talked about on last week's episode about how much we were loving the Angels.
Love watching them play.
To pick it up.
Josh got them in a World Series too.
And looks like the Angels are starting to. They've won the last 2, but they're 5 for 5 in their last 10 games. So not a recipe for success there. Astros,
always good.
They're always good, obviously, and we're going to talk about one guy who's making them really good just after this. The Mets are winning the NL East. The NL East is a absolute dumpster fire at this point. A bunch of teams that are on paper really good that are just not playing up to par. Like we said last week, the Mets are 28-15, but they do have some injury problems going on. The Mets did lose Max Scherzer with a lat strain, I believe it was. He's going to be out probably 2 months. Jacob deGrom still is a month or so away. They did lose McGill as well. So you can probably say their top 3 starters are out. So it's a good thing they have an 8-game lead, but it's not looking good for the Mets. The Brewers are winning the Central. They're up 3 games over the Cardinals.
Lost Freddie Peralta though.
26-15. Yes, yep. A lot of big injuries. A lot of big injuries happening.
Which happens over baseball. I mean, there's
right. I mean, it's a 162 game season. It's something that's gonna be a part of the game. You just have to learn how to navigate them, and that's why baseball is the biggest team sport there is, because you just gotta fill it and move on. Fill a role with somebody else who's capable, and go from there.
Cardinals are looking good with the young guys too. I want to say
they are. Cardinals are looking pretty good. They brought up a lot of young guys, but they've they've got to be very good for here on out to be able to catch those Brewers, because it doesn't look like the Brewers are going to lose a lot of games this year. So the Cardinals need to be really on top of it if they want to win that division. And the last one is the Dodgers. Dodgers are winning the division, and Padres are right there. Padres are a half game back. Dodgers and Padres looking really good.
Padres for sure.
Yeah,
Padres have been on fire, boys.
They're absolutely disgusting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very fun division to watch. And the Giants are 5 games back, but they still have a pretty decent record. They've just haven't looked as dominant this year, and it looks like the Padres are kind of taking their place as the team.
And this is all without Tatis. So
right.
I love Tatis too, man.
You know, a lot of people last year said, Tatis is one of the best players in the game, the best player on the Padres. Manny Machado said, "Hey, don't forget about me over here." And he's going off this year. We're going to talk about him in just a minute. But there is one thing I do want to get to. A little bit of baseball drama here. And it always involves the Yankees. I think people try to, put us in the headlines because they want to make themselves relevant. And it works for some of them. And if that's what you got to do, it's what you got to do. But I think one of the Yankees took maybe a step too far this weekend. Josh Donaldson, who is known for being the epitome of a player that you would love to play with and hate to play against. A guy who is an all-team player, a guy who, no matter what team he's on, he's going to be for you. And no matter if you were teammates with him for 10 years, if you're not on his team anymore, he doesn't care about you at all. And he's going to come at you with everything he's got.
Kind of like the Westbrook of the MLB.
Yeah, well, he's the ultimate competitor. And he's going to talk his talk and do his thing. He is, he's been an MVP winner. He's got a lot of accolades and pretty well respected around the league. But one guy that does not respect him is Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson on the White Sox. Him and Josh Donaldson go at it. They've seen a lot of each other. Donaldson obviously played on the Twins for many years, playing in division. They saw each other a lot. And Tim Anderson made a comment a couple years back that, or maybe it was last year.
No, it was a couple years ago.
Was it a couple years ago? He called himself the modern day Jackie Robinson of baseball, which is whatever, that's cool, great. Tim Anderson's a great player. And Josh Donaldson, apparently he says that he's called Tim Anderson Jackie before, just referencing to him as Jackie. It kind of sounds like to me he's trying to cover his tracks a little bit. But they got into an argument a couple weeks ago last time we played. They got into an argument on the base pass. It looks like Donaldson kind of pushed Tim Anderson over. It was a whole thing. Benches kind of cleared a little bit. And then it happened again in this series. And apparently Josh Donaldson called Tim Anderson Jackie again. And I don't know the extent of it, but it does not look very good for Josh Donaldson. I think he might get a suspension or a fine for what he said. The league's probably going to investigate this. It's something that they aren't going to take lightly. Anything that's racially inclined, obviously, is nothing we want to deal with. Maybe Josh Donaldson was just playing along, but it's not something that you can really play with, especially a guy who has never been your teammate and nobody that you've been known to not be friendly with before. So why would you jokingly call him something?
So yeah, Josh, did you hear about all this?
Well, I just got did Tim Anderson refer to himself as Jackie, and then Josh Donaldson started calling him Jackie?
No.
Yes.
It was a 2019 Sports Illustrated interview. Tim Anderson, he's a big, well-known player.
Yeah.
And he just said, "I'm the young Jackie Robinson." He just kind of referred to himself as that. So I think that's where it stemmed from. And obviously Donaldson, I'm just playing around, and obviously the White Sox take it as, well, he's black and Jackie Robinson is black, and that's what it's kind of turned into,
racist,
and and I think you just have to watch what you say. I mean, apparently, obviously in today's world, like, you have to be careful, and you can't just be like, oh, well, I was just playing around and stuff. It's like, no, I mean, we're at a time where there's tons of racial issues that are going on in this world. So you definitely, and when you're on this platform, you got to even hold yourself to a higher standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're playing and you're saying stuff, it's like, oh, well, I heard him say it. Josh Donaldson say it. I could say it. And you got kids wanting to be these players. And it's like, no, that's not right. You know what I mean? And I think it's something that we can learn from. I don't think, it's Josh Donaldson's racist by any means. There's tons of players from all ethnicities that play, Major League Baseball. But I mean,
black players
it's something that you got to
with them.
Yeah, exactly. But it's something you have to watch what you say. And even the manager, Aaron Boone, was like, well, yeah, he obviously shouldn't have said that.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know if he meant it in a bad way. And I mean, and in most cases, it's like, oh, yeah, he compares me to Jackie Robinson. I mean, that's a great thing to do. And Tim Anderson's he plays with a lot of emotion. He's a great player. But
does have some Jackie Robinson attributes and things like how he plays the game. So it makes sense. But there is just some things like I think if you're going to call somebody a name or joke around with them or whatever, it's got to be something that you don't have to explain. This is something that Josh Donaldson's having to be like, hey guys, I'm not a racist. I didn't mean it racially. Like, you shouldn't have to explain that. Don't do something that you're going to have to explain. Call him whatever you want to call him. Just don't call him something that's racially inclined or could be looked at as racially inclined. Yeah. Even if he wasn't saying it because he's black, or he wasn't saying it to mock him, even if he was just calling him Jackie just to call him Jackie and that he respects him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what his intent was, because the media is going to look at that, they're going to take it, and they're going to run with it, and that's what they've done.
Exactly.
And Tim Anderson openly does not like Josh Donaldson. And so is he blowing this up a little bit to make Josh Donaldson look like a bad guy? Maybe. I don't know for sure. Maybe Josh Donaldson is a racist. I don't know. But it's not something that you get yourself into the situation to
especially on that platform.
Right.
I mean, there's mics, there's people on the stands right there. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
There's a line that you guys
are saying. Yeah, for sure. And I think, Tim, what I was going to say is, like, you touched on it partially there. It was just with the media and stuff like that. Like you said, it's known that those two don't get along and don't like each other. So when you hear something like that, as like, he said, she said type thing, to where, Donaldson supposedly called Anderson that, Jackie or whatever. It just, the media is obviously going to run with that, especially with the media nowadays really taking a huge part of their time and making racial stuff like this, like a big emphasis, So I don't know. Me personally, I don't really. Situation. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't really think he was saying it to be racist or anything like that. I think he was saying it in a joking manner.
Last thing I do want to say about this, though, we'll move on. I do think that he will get either a pretty good fine or a suspension from the league.
Which he probably should have a little something. Yeah.
Right. Not only to say, hey, don't do that, but also because baseball has been, or MLB has tried to market towards young African-American players to be like, hey, play our sport instead of football or basketball. We want you to come play baseball. If you look at the numbers, there's a lot of Latino guys who play baseball, obviously, and a lot of white guys who play baseball. There's not a whole lot of African-American guys who play baseball. And they want to market that to them. And obviously they've got to protect, a really big star who happens to be African-American. His play has nothing to do with his race, but the fact that his race is what it is, he is a huge star in the sport. And they are using that platform to raise him up and be like, hey, guys, you guys can be this. You don't have to go play football. You don't have to go play basketball. We have big stars in baseball who are African-American too. And when one of them gets called out and gets called Jackie, who is the epitome for race in baseball, it's something that they are definitely going to take action on. So I expect the Yankees to be without Donaldson for a little while. I'm not sure how long it'll be. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe he'll just get fined. I don't know, but I do expect some repercussions.
Gotta have a little more self-awareness of what you're in, what's
aware who you're talking to, what's going on.
Even if you're joking, I mean, and even if you have the respect that Donaldson has, there's a line you can't cross it. He did, and he needs, he's going to pay for it, and hopefully he'll learn, and that'll be a lesson to those around too. So,
Right. The last thing I do want to talk about here before we let you guys go tonight, we want to make some award picks. We're going to talk a little NBA, a little NHL, a little MLB, and we're going to try to get through these quickly. But But there is a couple of trophies that are going to be handed out here soon for hockey and for NBA, and not so soon for MLB. And we want to kind of give a not just a prediction, but who we think should be the recipient of these awards. In the NBA is introducing a new trophy, the Larry Bird Trophy. This goes to the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. It goes to the quote-unquote should be the most valuable player in the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, this is the Heat and the Celtics. And, I mean, without further ado, boys, I mean, Nate, who do you think so far is the Eastern Conference Finals MVP or the Larry Bird Trophy recipient?
Oh, putting me on the schedule early, eh? You think so? I need to say who is or who I think will be.
Who would you give it to? Who would you give it to?
Oh, man.
Obviously, we're only 3 games in on this. The NBA ones are kind of hard to do. But based on what you've seen, who's most valuable in this series?
I mean, there's obviously several guys that are super valuable. But I mean, I'm honestly probably gonna have to say Jimmy Butler. I know he's hurt, but he's shooting at a very high level right now. He doesn't take a lot of threes, so I mean, you can't really pay attention to that. He's shooting 90% at the free throw, averaging about 8 free throws a game. Averaging 26 points. And where we're at right now, I would say I'd have to give it to him. I know Jaylen Brown had a good game, but with the Heat being up 2-1, I think that takes into consideration of where we're at. And so if I had to say right now who it is, I'm going with Jimmy Butler. Who I want it to be or who I think will be different, but I won't give that to you. But I'll say right now.
Josh, what do you agree with his take here?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I'm going to agree too. I mean, when you look at Jimmy Butler, that guy is not really changed the Heat culture, but really fits the Heat culture and just the type of player that he is. And he's a huge leader on that team. And they're deep, but without Jimmy Butler, can we really say that the Heat are going to be this far? Like,
no,
exactly. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about, the MVP of the team, it's most definitely Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think the most valuable, if you take valuable in the terms of what it literally means, not best, not who's performed the best, but we know MVP is the best performer. The most valuable player in this series is Jason Tatum to the Celtics. If he plays the way that he can play, if he can go off, he's going to be the catalyst. He's going to be that guy for the Celtics. But the MVP trophy is given to the best performer, and I don't think there's any doubt about it. It's Jimmy Butler. Bam Adebayo had a good game in Game 3, but like you said, Game 1 and 2 did not play very well. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have both been pretty streaky. Jaylen Brown, I would give it to Brown over Tatum right now if I had to pick a Celtic. But I don't think that's how it'll be by the end of the series. And I think that if the Celtics win the series, it will be because of Jason Tatum, not in spite of him. The Heat can win without Butler going off, but they're getting to the point to where he's going to have to do Jimmy Butler things for them to win because they're playing such a good team. And right now, I think he's the MVP. The other new trophy is the Magic Johnson Trophy. It's the exact same. It's the MVP, but it's for the Western Conference Finals. The Mavericks and the Warriors are playing in this for this. And Josh, we'll have you start off. Who do you think is getting the Magic Johnson Trophy? Who would you give it to? I mean, there's obviously only been 2 games, and we're in the middle of Game 3 right now. And it's 48-47 halftime. Warriors are up. And it looks like big performers in this game are Jalen Brunson, 15. Steph Curry's got 16. Jalen Brunson, though, he's got 12.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Anyways, my thing, who I'd give it to here, dude, I don't know. This is tough for me, but I'm honestly probably going to give it to Steph Curry. I mean, the guy, he hasn't had huge games, but he's still putting up solid numbers. And so and the Warriors are up 2-0 right now. So if we're going to take into consideration, this series and all that, I'm going to give it to Steph Curry.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Steph Curry as well, not because he's got gaudy numbers or because he has taken over this series, but he takes it over when it matters the most. He's the guy that's closed the game. He's the guy that put them to sleep in game 2. And we'll see what he does tonight. I'm excited to see how this game ends. But Steph Curry has been the catalyst in this series, the guy to close them out. Just give him the rock and let him shoot. Let him do his thing. I do think that he has been the best player. But like I'll say about the last series, like I said, the most valuable player to the team, to the series is Tatum. The most valuable player to this series is Luka Doncic, and it's not even close.
Yep.
He has got to do his thing, and they don't have a shot otherwise.
Yeah.
But Nate, are you agreeing with the Steph Curry pick here?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, Steph Curry, his numbers, even in the fourth quarter, like his shooting percentage, I think I saw a stat. I couldn't find it where it was or where I saw it was, but he's like a 43, 44 field goal percentage in first 3 quarters. But every playoff or his playoff career in the fourth quarter, he's almost like a 54%. I think it was 53 field goal. And then the same thing with 3-pointers. I think it was like from 41 the first 3 quarters to 48% in the fourth quarter. So he shows up on the fourth quarter. It don't even matter if he's had a bad game. It's like he's going to get buckets. He's going to make huge threes down the stretch. And I mean, he can outperform, and he's an outstanding player. And I think we can clearly say now he's the best shooter in NBA history. I mean, I think anybody can say that now. Like, dude is an absolute star. And you have big pickups from, Clay is not Clay yet. We haven't seen what Clay usually does. And he might not be the number 2 person, but they have guys such as Jordan Poole, and even Andrew Wiggins has stepped up in this. And we were talking about Kayvon Looney and him showing up as well. So, I mean, I'm giving it to Steph Curry too, long story short. But yes, I agree with you that most valuable player, if we were doing on value, has got to be Luka to the Mavs, just because of what he can do.
Yeah.
But right now, Warriors up 2-0. It's a close game, but Steph Curry, Magic Johnson award.
Yeah. We also have the playoff MVP award for the NHL. This is it the Smythe Trophy? Is that?
Yeah, Conn Smythe Trophy. Yeah.
Conn Smythe Trophy, yep. And I'm going to go first with this one. I do think that we're all going to unanimously pick this trophy. There's been some really good players in this. Jacob Markstrom for the Flames looked really good, and then came into this series, and Oilers are absolutely lighting him up, no pun intended. Darcy Kemper has played very well for the Avalanche. Both starting goalies at the start of that series, him and Jordan Binnington, are guys who could definitely win this trophy. They have played very well. Cale Makar has played very well for the Avalanche because of Benajad. We've already talked about how much he means to the Rangers. But I think it's Connor McDavid, and I don't think it's close at this point. Connor McDavid is the reason that the Oilers are where they are. They are blowing out the Flames tonight. They're up 4-0. He's got 3 assists in this game, and he's been the best player in hockey for a while. Him and Austin Matthews kind of fought for that this year. I said Matthews was the best player in hockey, but McDavid's got the track record. McDavid has the stats. He's got it all, and in the playoffs, he's showing out. He's got 20 points. Nobody else is even close. He's got 20 points. He's got 6 goals, 14 assists. And his plus or minus, he's 12 plus or minus, and there's nobody close on that either. That means when he's on the ice that they've scored 12 more goals than the other team has. And he's absolutely insane. This guy's a one-man wrecking crew. It looks like he could play hockey with one arm and one leg and still be the leading point scorer in the league. He's an absolute freak of nature and plays the game of hockey so well. Boys, are we agreeing on this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only guy that I could think of is the Lightning goalie just stopping the Panthers. I mean, he's stopping Andrei Vasilevsky. I mean, he's showing what he can do in the playoffs. And I think another guy that honorable mention, Cale Makar, an exceptional defensive man for the Colorado Avalanche. He's an exceptionally good player. But just seeing how the way Connor McDavid is like, hello, team, let me put you right here and carry you to where we want to go. It's just insane, man. So, I mean, I think you're exactly right in saying that for sure.
Yeah, I think that not a whole lot to talk about with that. He's been the odds-on best player in every series that there is. Now, the last one we're going to get is the MVP or the MLB awards for AL Cy Young, NL Cy Young, AL MVP, and NL MVP. These are obviously way too early. You can't give out these awards in May. Baseball is a very long season, goes until the end of September. And these are trophies that we're just kind of looking at stats right now and seeing who deserves it at this point. Josh, I'm going to start with you. The American League Cy Young Award. Who are you giving this to?
So this one was pretty easy for me. I mean, if you just look at, stats with the starting pitchers, it's for me, I'm going with Justin Verlander. He leads the Astros starting pitchers in all the starting pitcher categories, wins, ERA, strikeouts. And I mean, the dude's ERA he's pitched 8 games and has 6 wins. So yeah, in 8 games is a 1.22 ERA. That is that is real good.
Something I want to say about him too is a big thing about pitchers is limiting the amount of walks and hits they give up in an inning. It's called the WHIP, the walks, hits, inning pitched calculation, and that's like probably the biggest thing I look at for pitchers because ERA isn't really like with a reliever. They can have 9 great pitching performances and give up a 3-run home run in one, and now their ERA is 3. Yeah, so it's not something that I look at all the way, but yes, his ERA is very good. And for starters, it does mean a whole lot more. But his walks and hits per inning pitch is 0.72.
Yeah, that's
leads MLB.
Yeah.
He is not giving up anything. And he is a guy that I would pick as well. He would probably be my pick right now. But a name I want to throw out there, just the Yankee fan in me wants to throw him out there. Nestor Cortez Jr. If you guys have not seen this guy pitch, go watch him pitch. He is the funkiest pitcher you will see. He can throw his fastball. I believe they calculated it. He's thrown at 7 different arm slots this year, and he can throw his slider, his curveball. He can throw it all from all these different arm slots to where he starts way up high to where he's almost submarining it. And he quick pitches. He does all the quirky stuff, messes with pitcher's timing. Hitter's timing. He's got some nasty pitches, but doesn't have the most talent in the world. But he makes up for it with deception and with throwing off their balance. He's got 56 strikeouts, and he's only throwing 93 miles an hour. He's not blowing his fastball by you. He's not throwing anything that is, the best pitch in baseball. It's not like he's got one pitch that's just plus. He is just deceiving. He's limiting walks and hits. His whip is 0.89. It's still, very, very good. And he's also a Yankee, so I obviously love him. And he's just a little Mexican with a mustache. He's the emulation of a great baseball pitcher. I love the guy. Go watch him pitch. Nate, who's your pick for AL Cy Young?
It sounds like you guys are going with Verlander, but I'm gonna throw you a name out there that I think should have some considerations, and I'll give you a couple reasons why. But Alek Manoah with the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, you probably should hate him because he's in your division. But he's pitched just one inning less than Justin Verlander. He has 43 strikeouts. His ERA is right there with him. He's 5-1. He's pitched the same amount of games in 8. He's given up 9 runs to Justin Verlander 7. But just looking at this guy, so he's right there with him, and maybe his stats aren't like, it's 1A and 1B. You could look at these guys. But looking at his stats and the teams he's had to play against, he shut out the Yankees at the beginning of the year. This guy is just the teams that he's played against. He's playing in a he's pitching against some top level talent. Not that Verlander is not, but Alek Manoah has faced the Yankees twice now. He has pitched against the Rays and didn't allow any runs. He's pitched against the Red Sox, the Houston Astros. He's pitching against top tier teams.
Pitching in the best offensive division in baseball for sure.
Yes. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to kind of get out. Yeah, and not that Verlander hasn't pitched against great teams either.
Some great guys too,
but
nowhere near the division.
And I think Verlander's a great pick. I'd probably say he's probably would have it, but I just want to throw that name out just for what he's doing. I think is really phenomenal as well.
Well, Nate, do you want to lead us into who you would pick for the National League Cy Young?
Oh, sure. I'll give you right away. It's Josh Hader. I know he's a relief pitcher, but dude hasn't allowed a run. He's pitched 13 innings, 21 strikeouts, almost averaging 2 strikeouts an inning, 15 saves in 15 games pitched. Just the nastiest pitcher in the National League. Honestly, that's all there is to it. I mean, he's the nastiest pitcher in the National League, starter, reliever.
He might be the nastiest pitcher in baseball.
He's just nasty.
I'd say right now, when Jacob DeGron's healthy, that guy is just absolutely insane.
And
Hader,
another honorable mention though. Joe Musgrove.
Yeah. Joe Musgrove has pitched very well for the Padres. But
I got Hader.
Relievers very rarely ever get the Cy Young. But you can't ignore the stats. A 0.00 ERA. I mean, and he hasn't given up a run. He's not giving up like anything. He's striking out everybody, making everybody look foolish.
Yeah. But he's in complete control of every single game that he's winning too.
But one thing I will say is, I'm sorry, Cardinals fans, but it's not a super strong division that he's pitching against. So it's not like he's out there like Alek Manoah having to face the AL East every time. So it is a guy that you have to kind of take that into consideration. But you can only pitch against the guys you're slated to pitch against. And the guys he is pitching against, he is making look absolutely foolish.
Last game he pitched, though, was against the Braves. 1 inning, 3 strikeouts, 15 pitches.
Pretty nasty. I think they should make it a rule to where if you're batting against Josh Hader, you can use a tennis racket. Because obviously bats are not working. I'll give you mine, though. I will give it to Pablo Lopez. If you don't know that name, that's exactly why I'm telling you about it. He is on the Miami Marlins. He's got a 1.57 ERA for ERA nerds out there. He's only pitched 46 innings, so less than all these other guys we've talked about. He's got 48 strikeouts and a .91 whip, and he's playing on a team that is just not very good record-wise. I mean, they have some good pieces. They just can't really piece it all together. He's playing in a division that is very tough. It's not a division that is beating up on other divisions, obviously. They have a bunch of teams that are at 500 or so, but it is a tough division. Anybody will say the NL East is a tough division.
How many strikeouts does he have?
He has 48 in 46 innings. So he's averaging more than 1 strikeout per inning. And he's been very nasty, and he's still pretty young. This guy is one of the best young pitchers in the game, a guy that needs more spotlight than he's given, and he's just not given it because he plays for the Marlins. So, Josh, who's your pick for National League?
I'm actually going to give it to Max Scherzer. I mean, his ERA is a little bit higher at 2.54, but his whip is at 0.95, which is, pretty good. And he has 49.2 innings pitched and 59 strikeouts. So, dude, he also got injured recently, didn't he? So he's out
he's going to be out for 2 months. But as of right now, you've got a case there. The reason his earned run average is higher, but his whip's still so low. Guy gives up a lot of home runs, but it's because he's a high velocity pitcher. So if a guy gets a hold of it, there's not a whole lot you have to do to flick it out. And he gives a lot of home runs, but he kind of always has. But the thing is, he limits it. There's nobody on base when he gives up a home run because nobody can get a hit off of him. So he's been very nasty, but it's very sad to see him go down. Another guy I do want to throw out there, though, Corbin Burns is still out there doing his thing. 62 strikeouts in 51 innings, a .83 whip, second best in the league to Justin Verlander. Burns is he's disgusting. That guy is. Part of that Brewers pitching staff.
All those Brewers pitchers are nasty.
Yeah, apparently they all just are grown in a factory somewhere and just put together, and those guys are just disgusting. I do want to get your guys' opinion on who you think will be the AL MVP. Josh, we'll start with you.
I got good old-fashioned Aaron Judge.
Woo!
He leads the Yankees pretty much. He leads the Yankees in pretty much every category besides RBIs. And the dude's just absolutely on a
Well,
tear
he
this
bats
year.
second for the Yankees, so he doesn't get a lot
Yeah,
of RBI.
I mean that is true. Yeah, and so the guy, I don't know, he's on a different type of level this year, and he's playing extremely well. So
He wants to get
I'd have to
paid.
give it to
I'll tell you
him.
that much.
Yeah.
And the reason why he doesn't lead the Yankees in RBIs is because Stanton does, and Stanton gets a lot of RBIs because Judge is always on base for him.
Yep.
But Nate, let's hear your pick real quick. I want to see where you're going to go with this before I get
I'm
into my Judge
surprised.
tangent.
I'm surprised that Josh is not going with his boy Manny Machado
AL
on the Padres.
AL.
That's in.
Oh, AL or NL. Sorry, my bad. AL. Okay, I see your Aaron Judge thing, but my bad. But AL, I do want to say or give it to Taylor Ward.
Taylor Ward. Yeah.
Right fielder for the Angels, who is absolutely been a monster this year. Sorry, I got confused, boys. But dude has been a monster. And dude came out of nowhere, batting 370, almost has a 1,200 OPS. I mean, dude has been insane. I know he's played 30 games. He probably doesn't have as many games as Aaron Judge too. Aaron Judge looks like he has about 40 games.
38,
leading in home runs. I mean, this guy, Aaron Judge is doing a lot of things, and he's 31 RBIs. He's almost top 5 in that too. He's doing a lot of things. But Taylor Ward, man, just watching him play, he was just out.
OPS is really just really up there. Taylor Ward gets on base a lot because he's got a 370 batting average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to think of it this way too. I'm not trying to take away from anything Ward does, but he has some of the best pitches to hit because nobody is going to want to give the meatball to Mike Trout. Nobody wants to give the meatball to Rendon. Nobody wants to give the meatball to Ohtani. So yeah, let's try our luck with this Ward guy, and he's made him pay for it. But I think teams are gonna start figuring him out. I think his numbers are going to come down a little bit. I would give the MVP to Mike Trout before I gave it to Ward. I think Trout has had a better year. Trout, is
had a lot of home runs too. Yeah, he's at 12.
Just the epitome of, best player over the past decade. And there's probably not even an argument for that. Trout's still doing it. But I will say about Judge, he's got 15 home runs, 1.073 OPS. He's got 2 stolen bases for being 6'7", 280. I mean, boy can move. He's out there playing center field half the time for the Yankees.
Dude out there looking like Josh Allen.
Yeah, no joke. The New York big boys, you know what I mean? Out there, and he wants his contract. The Yankees offered him $215 million or something like that. He turned it down, and now they're saying he might be the first 30-year-old to get a $300 million contract. And he's played his way into that. Josh, I do want to let you in on a little stat. You and shout out to my boy Ethan Curtis. You guys like to tell me that Aaron Judge is not clutch. He did just hit his first walk-off home run the other day. But as a guy who literally does nothing but watch Yankees games, I will tell you that he is never pitched to in a walk-off situation. They would rather load the bases or walk in a run than pitch to him. He's a guy that doesn't get that opportunity very often. He is second in baseball in batting average from the 7th inning on. From the 7th inning on, he's got a .419 batting average. I mean, the guy just when it comes time to close the game out, he's seeing balloons.
I don't. Is that with the Yankees like having the lead or behind?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I've seen him walk off a lot of games. I've FaceTimed you.
I'm just saying that don't really mean a lot to me if the Yankees are winning in those late innings.
So you're telling me right now you picked this guy for the AL MVP and still decided that he's not good. He's not.
No, I think he's. I don't know. I'm not going to say he's clutch, but the guy's playing extremely well, and he deserves the AL MVP right now. And that don't really mean anything to me because that don't really tell me much.
Okay, how about this? Since 2021, nobody has more game tying or go ahead hits.
Here we go.
Nobody
since 2021.
So since last year.
All right,
season and a half. What's that tell you? So they were either tied or
what's that tell you?
Losing. What's that tell you?
that the guy's playing good right now. That's
right
what
now,
that tells
including
me.
last year.
Yeah, sure.
For 2 months, sure, you can say he's playing good right now. For season and a half, Josh,
I don't know.
I don't know if you know how to spell the word clutch, but you can't spell it without a JUDGE, baby. NL MVP. We're gonna let you guys go right after this. NL MVP.
Sorry,
I'm going to say that this is probably going to be unanimous around the board here as well. Manny Machado.
Yeah.
This guy has been everything for the Padres and more. He's been disgusting. He's got a 374 batting average still. Dude plays every day too. He's always playing. He is always available. He doesn't hit as many home runs as some of these other guys, but he doesn't have to because he hits a lot of doubles. And his OPS is still really high, which if you don't know what OPS is, it's on base percentage plus his slugging. So for his slugging percentage to still be high and only having 8 home runs, it means he hits a lot of extra base hits, hitting a lot of doubles, hitting the gaps a lot. And one other thing about this guy, he's got 7 stolen bases. This guy is just he's just all over the place, playing fantastic for them. He's the type of energy the Padres need right now. They're a half game back from the Dodgers. And
honorable mention, though, and I know everybody knows I like the Rockies and all that stuff, but CJ Cron, though,
he's been
killing.
Yeah, he's been killing.
Leading the National League in home runs, and I know everybody thought the Rockies would be awful. But
who leads baseball, though? I forgot.
Aaron Judge.
Oh, okay.
By 4.
Dude, like Tim, you're talking about Machado hitting like all the extra base hits. He had 3 doubles and a triple today. Like that's insane.
Yeah, the dude had my McDonald's order, man. Dude went out there and had 3 double cheeseburgers and 1 triple cheeseburger. All right, the man out there just
like he's on fire right now. And I watched the Padres all weekend, and they are playing different right now, and it's fun to watch
for sure. Well, those are our award picks. We'll see how close we get or how far we're off in baseball. We will probably be pretty far off. Hopefully, I'm not wrong with the Yankees or the Machado pick. Those would be great for us as we're fans of those teams. But those are hard to predict. But hockey and NBA, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But guys, we thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you guys hopping on the stream with us. Thanks for enjoying your Sunday evening with us. But I've got some food I got to go eat and enjoy some vacation. So, boys, I'm going to head out. We're going to head out. We're going to hop off, and we'll catch y'all on the flip. Boys, good night.
Peace out.